Farmerman Rose here. Meg is still grounded, but she is probably going to be back in the air in the next couple weeks. Going to try and order a part for the nose gear on Friday, or next Friday. And I'm sending the receiver back for it. And this video is how my day is going. I flew today, worked on some airplanes, had some incidences. Anyway, the MiG-17's been sitting there for a while. Anyway, I'm going to switch you over to the E-flite F-16 64mm. I'm going to save the best for last. So what happened last time I flew this was I guess the wingtips caught in the grass when it was landing. And I'm missing a piece, the tip for the missile here. And I was able to glue on that other missile. And then same with the nose cone, I got it back, glued on. And it looks pretty good for now. Pretty decent. That one's just going to sit there for the rest of the year. My Cessna 150, in my last video, I told you I had an incident with it. I hit a telephone line. I'm not going to say it was power line because it was the bottom line on the wires there. So it was the bottom wire on the telephone pole. So I did not hit or strike a hydro line. The hydro lines are the two ones on the top. I hit the one hanging on the bottom, which is a telephone wire and internet wire, is what I hit. So what it did there to this one is it destroyed one aileron on the airplane, broke the prop off, broke the prop shaft, bent, and then I guess I got to fix the nose gear. It's pretty loose. I got to tighten it back up. And I think it broke the rudder servo too because it was acting up weird when I was connecting it to my radio. Anyway, it cracked on the side of the fuselage here, just a minor crack. I used hot glue, so I'm hoping that holds it for now. And I'm probably going to stop doing tricks with this one and fly it normally like a normal airplane will. And then next year I'll invest in an E-flite Extra 300 or another 3D plane like that. And I've also am building a foam board kit airplane that's made by Twisted Hobbies. It's called a Click or whatever, and you put your own motor on there and electronics and whatnot. It's basically is a 3D flyer. It's flat foam board, right? And the propeller is held on by an elastic band, and it's for indoor flying. And I'm gonna practice that this winter, get good at 3D flying, and move on to that for next year's season. This here, I'm going to fix up, get some skis made for it, and fly it in the wintertime, and then just do normal flying. I can still do some knifing with this and some rolls, but I'm not going to do any more crazy stuff like I was doing before I crashed it. Like, I was just flying it normally, and then I bring in the land underneath the pole wires and stuff. But anyway, the crack goes all the way down in there, but that's about it. She's fixed. Today I had an incident with my L-39. I posted another video up, and what happened is I was coming into land. I used up my full 3 minutes of flight time. I had 30 seconds left to land, and I should have landed the other direction. I guess the wind wasn't going right across the field, like hitting it at a 90-degree angle and going right across. It was actually coming in a little bit from the one side, the one corner of the field across. So there was a crosswind, and it wasn't a straight crosswind, so it was pushing you away from the runway, the way we fly at our field. And what happened here is I should have came in around the other direction and sort of been able to actually go into the wind. This time I ended up going with the wind, but I was able to slow it down, and the wind took it when it got to its landing speed. I have to say, I was lining it up and stuff, and it slowed down to the speed where the wind just tossed it like a rag doll, flipped it over, and I was able to level it out right before it hit a bean field or whatever. And when it hit the bean field, it was belly first and a little bit of nose first too. There's still some dirt on the nose cone, but what happened is the plants in the bean field caught on to the nose, and it was like wrapped around here, and it took it off. It had a little crack here, and then it took just the weak point is right here, right where the canopy is, where it gets clicked into, and it just straight down cracked, and it came right off. and including the 2 carbon rods. Yeah, there's carbon rods in there. My favorite carbon rods. But the plane doesn't look as good as it used to when I first bought it. Obviously, I had a little ding here. I hit a pole or a pylon on the runway at one of the events I was at, and then just did some damage there. The light pod here broke off. From here, this was the break point that broke off. It got caught in the plants, I guess. And then, and yeah, the tail is fine, actually. There was no damage to the tail at all. And it didn't flip upside down because there's no grass on the top of the plane. There was grass going up and over the wing on the main wing here, and a little bit at the back. Because when it landed, so let's say my hand's the airplane, and this here is the bean field. It sort of landed in here, and then the nose caught a plant, and it sort of like right there. So it didn't like bounce off or anything. It came in. I was lined up perfect. I was actually able to level the thing out, and I pulled it up full throttle, and then I guess it just caught on the bottom. The gear caught on the plants because the gear was down. And when that happened, it brought it down, and then I guess it sort of caught on the plants here, and it just turned to the right, and that's how it snapped off the part of the fuselage. But other than that, I flew the Viper successfully today, the first flight of the day, successfully. Hand launched it myself. Second pack I'm running it, and a crosswind, like a gust of wind just comes, and as soon as it leaves my hands, the wind came and just rolled it over, and sort of hit the ground pretty hard, harder than this actually. And this was a lot harder to fix compared to the L39. The L39 was easy to fix, but this one here cracked right down clean right through here, and same on this side was apart. It wasn't completely broken off, and then it cracked a little bit over here, but I glued that back on. The nose is still strong from the first time I crashed it. I actually crashed it the one time, and it broke here and the nose cone off, but it seems to still keep on holding strong and stuff. And then the wing cracked a little bit on this side, so I just used my hot glue and fix it up, and it's all right now. It's strong as it can be. So that's what happened today, guys. Right now it's really cold outside. It's like hanging around the 10 degrees mark. It's windy. It's like windy every day now. It's not calm. And I went out to the field this morning, and the wind said it was 16 kilometers an hour, gusting to 20. And then by 11 o'clock, it was gusting to plus 30 kilometers an hour and a 24 kilometer main wind. And I flew the L39 probably, it had to be right before 10 or 10:30 and stuff, but I was flying it, and it was also the first time I had it bound to my IX-12, and I think the throws got reset, so the throws are really, really high now, so it was a bit hard to control in the air. So I'm definitely going to have to tune this up again, but that's not going to happen until next year. I don't think we're ever going to get a calmer day until it starts snowing, because once it starts snowing, the wind calms down a bit. It's just how it is here in Ontario. It's normally windy all the way till probably after Christmas when it starts to calm down a bit. So that's why we got indoor flying going right now. So other than that, I'm waiting on parts for the Cessna 150. I'm going to be throwing skis on it pretty soon, and I'm going to probably finish fixing the L39. Right now I just glued it back as much as I could just so I was able to hang it up on the wall, and same with this one. I think the Viper's ready to go. It's not like the fuselage isn't as bad as the L39. This one looks a lot stronger, so I'm going to take this out next weekend I fly. The L39 unfortunately is going to sit. I got to look at the nose gear. The nose gear got banged up a lot too, so I got to fix that. And then what I'm probably going to do in the spring is order a new fuselage for this plane and maybe a new wing. That way get it back to the way it was. It's not going to cost me much. It's going to cost me about around $100. But I think the wings look pretty good. I'm going to get new light pods for sure. I got a new canopy here that will be going on. Anyway, I'm running out